Call the planning and zoning meeting to order. Will everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. Marcus Major.
Here.
Jaden Bailey.
Here.
Alan Stork.
Here.
William Gutchalk.
Here.
Jeff Spink.
Here.
Doug Tyston is absent. Robert Owens.
Here.
Steve Ski.
Here.
Will Smith.
Here.
And I'm present, so we have 9 members present. Do I have a motion on the minutes? We had another one here because that was here. Everybody should have got when you arrived. Do I have a motion on the February minutes?
So moved. Second.
Made the motion, and who seconded it? Jaden. Motion on the floor and a second to approve the February minutes. Is there any further discussion? Roll call vote. Marcus Major.
Yes.
Jaden Bailey.
Yes.
Alan Stork.
Yes.
William Gutchalk.
Yes.
Jeff Spink.
Yes.
Robert Owens.
No vote. I wasn't here.
Okay. You abstain. Okay. Steve
Okay,
Ski.
there you go.
Yes.
Will Smith.
Yes.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Secretary's report.
Good evening, Commissioners. Before you have a consent agenda with 4 applications for preliminaries and final plats. Of course, if you approve the agenda, then that will automatically be approved. In addition, you have 2 items on the regular agenda. One is a plat that requires an exception, and then the other one is the Lexico SUP. However, we did receive a request from the applicant to table this item. They are seeking additional time to get the information that you guys had originally requested when you tabled it the first time. So that email was included in your agenda packet for you guys to review. And then finally, we do have a request for a variance, so the Board of Zoning Appeals will have to be convened. Of course, we have 9 here and we need 7 of you, so 2 will have to step down. Other than that, staff has no other things to add for this evening.
Okay. Thank you. Any declarations? Commissioner Major, I think you need to make a declaration. You have 2.
Yeah, I was just going to abstain. I mean, I can't vote or I can't approve or I can't do anything right now because 2 of these are mine.
Yeah, correct. But I just wanted to make sure you. Okay. That's up to the Board of Commissioners. We're not even hearing them, so. Anyway, approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. Second.
That was Alan. Motion on the floor to approve the consent agenda with the 4 items on the consent agenda and the other items we are hearing tonight. Is there any further discussion? Marcus Major is abstaining. Jaden Bailey.
Yes.
Alan Stork.
Yes.
William Gutchalk.
Yes.
Jeff Spink.
Yes.
Robert Owens.
Yes.
Steve Ski.
Yes.
Will Smith.
Yes.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. For the first item then, what we're hearing, the Leavenworth County Planning Commission will now hear case number DEV 23-012 and 013, preliminary and final plat, Stranger Point, as outlined in the posted agenda. This is not a public hearing item. Staff report.
As mentioned, this is case number DEV 23-012 and 013, a preliminary and final plat request for Stranger Point. The property in question is located at 19266 Leavenworth Road. If you might remember this property, it was recently rezoned, or a portion of it was rezoned from RR5 to RR 2.5. This is the plat that they're submitting to go ahead and split off that 2.5 acre parcel in the southeast corner of the property. The applicant It is a residential property currently. They are proposing to keep this in residential in nature. The reason why this is before you as a regular agenda item is they are requesting an exception from the lot depth to lot width requirement for lot 1. The frontage that they are splitting off is significantly shorter than the depth of the property. As you can see, it's a very deep property as is. The applicant agent has indicated, that the steep terrain on the back of that property is pretty significant. To subdivide even further or develop that would be difficult, which is where the exception request is arising from. Otherwise, this plat does meet the requirements of the zoning and subdivision regulations, and staff is generally in support of the request. I know the applicant agent is in attendance, so if you have any additional questions, please let him know.
Okay. Any questions of staff? Anybody? Does the applicant wish to speak?
Good evening. Joe Herring, Herring Surveying, 315 North 5th Street. Staff presented this very well. The exception is, for the terrain in the back of it. It drops down into the Stranger Creek bottoms, and the fact that, neighboring tracks, I know we try to avoid long, skinny tracks, but everything out there is pretty much a long, skinny track in this area. So that's the reason for the exception request on this plat. Like she said, you guys did approve a rezone to 2.5 acres. To cut off a tract of land for the grandson. So, and then I had a question on the agenda while I'm here. I know you said 4 items. It was missing one on the board. Just making sure Cadillac Ranch was included in that.
Yes, it was. It's on the actual agenda.
Okay.
We just failed to get it on the PowerPoint.
All right, just
we're good.
wanted to make sure of that. So, any questions?
Questions, then? The applicant? Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any additional information to be presented?
No, sir.
Okay. Hearing none, any questions or comments, commissioners, or I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I will make a motion that we approve case number DEV-23-102 and 1013 in conformance with the recommendation of staff and in consideration of the golden tractors.
Okay.
Second.
Jaden? Have a motion on the floor with a second to approve case number DEV 23-012 and 013, the preliminary final plat of Stranger Point as outlined as an agenda. Is there any further discussion? None. Have roll call vote. Marcus Major.
Yes.
Jaden Bailey.
Yes.
Alan Stork.
Yes.
William Gutchalk.
Yes.
Jeff Spink.
Yes.
Robert Owens.
Yes.
Steve Skeet.
Yes.
Wolf Smith.
Yes.
Motion carries 8-0. The Board of County Commissioners will consider this item no earlier than March 22nd, 2023 meeting. The Commission agenda is posted on the Leavenworth County website and is available for public viewing. We need a motion on the next one to table.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Moved and seconded to table the special use permit for Lexico. That was DEV 22-156. And you made, Wolf, you made the...
Commissioners, we have a...
If I might, because this is a special use permit and did require notice to the adjoining property owners in the public hearing, if you could table it to a date certain.
Okay.
And
To-
my suggestion, I don't wish to speak with the applicant, but perhaps continue it to your May hearing or meeting date.
To the May, and what date is that?
I do not have it in front of me. Whatever the day.
You're looking it up. Who seconded that anyway?
I did.
You did.
Yeah, we're, in order to get the Type 5 permit that you guys have requested, we have to get a traffic impact study, which has to be performed by an engineering company. And we're hoping to have that by the end of the month. And KDOT has been less than responsive in getting things turned around.
Okay.
So we're thinking that it gives us another month to deal with KDOT.
Okay, all right. So what date was that then?
May 10th.
May 10th? Okay, is that, Wolf, is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay,
May
okay.
12th.
May 12th. Okay. 10th,
May 10th.
excuse me.
May
That's
10th?
what-
Okay.
10th, okay, I'm sorry.
12th.
Second
Okay.
Wednesday.
10th.
The 10th.
Second Wednesday.
Well, let's meet in the middle of it on the 11th.
I must have had 12 on my mind, wasn't I? Anyway, we have a motion on the floor and a second. Any discussion? May 10th is when we're going to hear it. Roll call vote. Marcus Major,
Yes.
Jaden Bailey,
Yes.
Ellen Stork,
Yes.
William Gutschalk,
Yes.
Jeff Spink,
Yes.
Robert Owens,
Yes.
Steve Skeet,
Yes.
and Will Smith.
Yes.
Motion carries 8-0. All right. Oh my goodness, I can't turn it. The Planning Commission meeting is adjourned. Who's leaving us?
Two to step down.
I can step down.
Doesn't matter to me.
Who's? Okay. Damn it.
Oh, we gotta be done.
Didn't even get a chance to
7.
leave, Jeff.
I'll call Royal again.
Thank you.
Okay. Board of Zoning Appeals is now in order. A roll call. Marcus Major.
Here.
Those two left. William Gutschalk.
Here.
Jeff Spink.
Yes, here.
Robert Owens.
Here.
Steve Skeet.
Here.
Will Smith.
Here.
And I'm present. 7 members present. We will now, Leavenworth County Board of Zoning Appeals would consider case number DEV 23-022, a variance request for Article 5, Section 4 zoning and subdivision regulations as outlined in the posted agenda. Does require a public hearing. Public comment limited to 3 minutes per person. Staff report.
All right, as mentioned, this is DEV 2322. This is a request for a variance from Article 5, Section 4 of the zoning regulations, which is the lot frontage for the RR5 zoning district. The property in question is 0000 243rd Street, and the property, as mentioned, is zone RR 2.5. It is not part of any subdivision or anything like that. The history of the parcel, this was created by deed in 1987. There was a survey submitted with it that created the legal description. However, a deed was filed with it. It was created with about 141 feet of frontage at the time, which did not meet the requirements, so therefore it wasn't considered a conforming lot, which is where this request is arising from. Obviously, it does not meet the current regulations in that zoning district of 300 feet. The applicant had contacted our office to see if this property was buildable. At that time, they found out that it is not a buildable property, and so this is the avenue by which they can get this property allowed to build permits and become a conforming property. Staff did provide you a review or a analysis of the 5 factors that you as the Board of Zoning Appeals has to consider for a variance. The first one, the variance requested arises from such condition which is unique and which is not ordinarily found in the same zoning classification. The parcel, as mentioned, was created in 1987. The current owners of the property did not create this parcel. It has actually been sold and then inherited by the current property owners from their parents, but they did not create this lot as it currently configures. Second, the granting of the variance will not adversely affect the rights of adjacent property owners or residents. The property has had a substandard frontage for more than 30 years. The applicant is proposing to keep the use of the land as residential, which is what the zoning designation allows for. So granting of the variance will not change the use of the property or affect the rights of adjacent property owners. The strict application of the provisions of the zoning regulations of which variance is requested will constitute an unnecessary hardship upon the property owners. The strict application of the zoning regulations would result in the applicant not being able to develop the parcel as its own separate parcel. They inherited 2 parcels with 2 legal descriptions and 2 deeds. If this variance was not accepted, of course, they would have the 1 parcel that they own in the northwest corner. However, this one would not be considered a buildable lot. The variance desired will not adversely affect the public health, safety, morals, order, or convenience. Staff did not find that, and the granting of the variance desired will not be opposed to the general spirit and intent of the zoning regulations. Again, the parcel was granted 30 years ago, or it was created 30 years ago. So if you have any further questions about staff's analysis or the staff report or the application, please let me know. The applicant is in attendance and they can also answer your questions.
Just to make clear, when it was deeded that way, it did not meet the regulations at that time either, correct? Okay. All right. Any questions of staff? Upon opening the public comment portion of this hearing, those of you who wish to speak either for or against this item upon recognition will give your name and address each time you begin to speak. This is necessary since the public hearing is being recorded. The public comment portion of this hearing is now open. Will the applicant please come forward?
Ryan Farley, 23170 243rd Street, McLeod, Kansas, 66054.
Okay. Do you have anything to add?
The reason I'm requesting this is I have a friend that would like the 5 acres with a house, and she has no use for the farmland. And I would like to move out into the city of Lawrence so that I'm closer to doctors. And the 15 acres my friend does not want or could afford.
So you own both properties?
Yes, sir.
The house and the other,
Yes.
the one we're talking about today?
Yes. My parents bought the little corner of it in, I think, 1978, around there, and then I think the rest of it in, like, 1987 or something. And we had horses and cows and hated it, and we had animals, but there's no longer. It's just me. My parents are both deceased, and it's just too much for me to maintain.
Okay.
So,
what, I mean, are you planning is somebody planning on building on the?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
So.
But I was told that I couldn't. I had, if you didn't grant the variance, I had to sell both pieces as one. I mean, both the 5 acres and the 15, one to one person. I couldn't sell it to 2 people.
Well, you could sell it to one person, but the other land wouldn't be. It just wouldn't be buildable.
Right.
You could sell it.
To 2 different people.
You could sell it to 2 different people.
Okay, I was under the impression that I could not sell it to 2 different people.
Well, you can, but on the other one, they won't be able to get a building permit without the variance.
Correct.
That's the only difference.
Well, it would probably sell easier if they could get the variance, but I don't know what anybody would do with it, except animals or.
Okay.
so you own the questionable piece that's in blue and
Yes, I own
the
all of
little corner,
Yes, sir.
and also the other large section there, or you
No,
don't own it?
the large section is owned by my neighbor,
Okay.
and I believe his last name is, he's right there, Mr.
Okay.
Ricky.
Okay.
He owns actually all of the other squared
That-
part. The rectangular with the thing up to the fence line. Or
Okay.
the part not shaded on the outside.
Any questions of the applicant? Any other questions?
How many acres is that section?
It's 14 point something, I think, or close to 15. Because I know that I own like 20 acres, so I'm not sure exactly the original 5, like point whatever it is.
It's approximately 15 acres.
Okay, any questions of the applicant? No more? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Now hear from those individuals present wishing to speak in favor of this request. In favor? We will now hear from individuals present wishing to speak in opposition to this request. In opposition.
Ernie Rickey, 23030 243rd Street, McLeod, Kansas. I own the property to the south of it, of the shaded blue area. I have offered her to buy that piece of property, and she didn't take it. She wasn't acceptable. I don't think that property is even buildable on. There's a major gas line going through it, and then there's wetlands on the east side. I can't see letting 140 feet of road frontage be developed. She wants it to pass so she can sell it, so somebody can build on it. She already has 2 houses on the 5-acre piece. I'm just here to just not understand why you can let that possibly happen, I guess. That's my concerns, and it's poor planning from somewhere, but you let one go, you let a couple more go. But that's all I got to say, I guess.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in opposition?
David Manthe, 23240 243rd Street. I own the property just north of hers. I object to it because I don't need nobody building out my back door. If you look at the picture, you can see where my house is. And like Mr. Rickey said, there's only one piece that's a very little hump that's buildable. Because you got wetlands, you got the gas line, and that little chunk would be up against the east end of the 5 acres, and the north, right there in that corner, is the only place that's buildable on that. And that's why I'm against it. Because I moved to the country so I didn't have to open the back door and look at a neighbor. And you don't ever know. I got a nice hedgerow there. Someone buys it, first thing they want to do is cut down the windbreak. And I love my windbreak out there on that hill. That's all I got to say.
Great. Thank you, sir. Anyone else wishing to speak in opposition? In opposition? We're talking about in opposition right now, sir. Or ma'am.
Sir.
In opposition.
Sure. Okay, what do we got here?
Kim Buchanan, 23841 Dempsey Road, McLeod, Kansas. My husband Mark and I own the piece on the northeast corner of the picture you're looking at, so we butt up against the back end of that parcel. We have known the property's been for sale for a while, and we even went to planning and zoning to inquire whether we could get an entrance for the front of that, and we're told outright no. So other people have inquired about it too and said no, so I just wanted it to be known that it has been in the process and talked about people buying the property, because you see the Rickeys have the major advantage to that piece. We have just a little subsequent piece there, but if you're going to tell everybody no, then it should be no. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak in opposition? Is there any additional information to be presented?
No, sir.
The public comment portion of this hearing is now closed. Are there any questions or comments, commissioners?
Is this in a flood, is this in a flood zone? I mean, they're talking about wetlands, so do we have a diagram of the
Sir.
county flood zone area?
We can pull that up for you. I'm not aware if the entire property is within a floodplain, but.
Where are we at here? Second question.
Doesn't appear it is.
Okay. Have we heard a variance on this before in the last 10 years
For this property?
for this property?
Not that I'm aware of.
Do you want to come back up, applicant?
My parents bought the other property with the idea of they left me the entire thing. I'm disabled. I cannot take care of the 15 acres. I've asked Mr. Manti. He was the first one I asked if he would like to buy it. He said no. Mr. Ricky said he would buy it, but he offered me way less. And I'm not like giving it away to him. He's come to me several times. First he said it was worth so much money, and then probably 5 or 6 months ago he goes, I'll give you, I think he said $80,000 for it. And so if he gets that, then he can build houses on it.
Well,
Yeah, so it's up to him to, I mean,
Well, technically, that is correct.
Yes.
yeah,
They would have to do some sort of action
yeah.
or.
Well, he could sell off 150 foot of his current property to that property to make that a buildable lot. I mean, that's no brainer there.
Yeah, he'd have, probably have to
So-
replat it, wouldn't he? Would have
Yeah.
to plat it now.
They would have to do some sort of survey action to
Yeah.
fix it or get a variance like the applicant.
Yeah, right. But he has the ground to do it too, so, yeah.
I'm just saying to Mr. Ricky, like, I don't know anything about this. My brother's not here, and he's supposed to be
What's
talking
15?
to you.
What's 14 acres?
Do you have a buyer for it?
No, but
Quite a bit.
I asked Mantis before I asked anybody else. Mr. Ricky came to me and told me a price, and then for a year he screwed around and said he wasn't interested, and an emergency came up, and then all of a sudden he offered me, I think, $80,000 for the 15, and now they're both here, and I can't take care of it all. My friend wants the 5 acres for her and her husband to retire on, and if Mantis wanted to be out in the country, they shouldn't have built right next to our fence line. Because they built their house, my property was there before they built their house. And if they wanted neighbors like away, they should have built their house farther somewhere else. I'm sorry. But
And you said nobody's planning on building there right now?
no,
I think
I'm just trying to
someone
sell
said
it.
someone
But
was.
nobody wants,
Oh, I see, okay.
it's like, yeah, I
You
don't,
get the variance or you
Right.
don't. But you don't have to get the variance to sell the 5 acres.
yeah, I know, but I do to get sell the 15.
Well, no, you don't need it to sell the 15, only if somebody wants to build on it.
Okay, but I don't know
Yeah.
whoever would want to buy it, would want to do with it.
It's basically, you're saying it's prohibitive, the fact that you don't have a variance today for you to be able to sell the property.
Yes, sir.
This property is, wouldn't we consider a split? I mean, you have 20 acres. Couldn't we split that into 2 10-acre lots?
So the,
I mean, and realistically, I mean, we just approved the big, long, skinny lot, guys. So
it's not
I mean,
that. It's not that. The frontage between the two properties does not equal or is greater than 600 feet.
oh, there's not 600 feet there for
Right.
both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we got a 5-acre one.
It should never have been split the first time.
Yeah, exactly. So
Right.
30 years ago, whoever was setting up here just
Well,
didn't.
it wasn't. It was split by deed. So
Okay.
it never
Yeah.
was reviewed by the Planning Commission.
Right.
Or the Board of County Commissioners.
And the person I bought it for is here right today, so, or my parents bought it for him. Obviously, I was a kid, so.
So it was broken out, I guess, and bought and purchased in those two sections that we're seeing right now.
Yeah.
That's what I read, that's what I understand.
Yeah.
Right?
And together, they're no problem. It's just splitting them is the
20
problem.
acres, yep.
Yeah, no problem.
But when you try to sell it to someone
Yeah.
who wants to build on it, you're going to require a variance.
I understand that.
Right?
You need to find
So-
someone who wants to buy it, wants 20 acres. That would be the
Well,
best situation.
because you got two houses on that 5.
Yeah, the two houses on the 5, there's no,
You
they
can't
said
sell the 20.
split. I could split it.
In regards to the two houses on the 5, the property owner, when we went through and allowed for ADUs, came in and filled out the accessory dwelling unit affidavit.
Yeah.
So that is considered an accessory dwelling unit per our regulations.
Okay,
Just so there's clarification, even though that property has nothing to do with this variance request.
correct.
Right.
Right, yeah, right.
But as I'm looking at it, I think I would be more than willing to give a variance if it was, we don't have the whole 600 for 210s. We're at 275, 275. I mean,
They don't have 600 between the
Yeah,
two.
not that far.
what is that number?
That's my brother. He might be able to explain it better.
So I'm not. So what is the road? What is that road frontage there? I mean, it's
Between the two or the
between the 5 and the variance, because we're looking at 141 foot. What's the 5-acre road frontage?
The survey that was filed shows that that frontage is 471.
471 and 141.
Can I
And
say
I
something?
don't think that's really relevant now because we're not
Six
discussing that one. We're getting
Right.
on,
Well, that- but-
we're getting the variance on the
Yeah.
one we're getting.
Yeah, that's 612 foot.
Yeah, but that other part is not relevant.
Well, yeah, I understand that, but if we don't grant this, it is splittable into two 10-acre tracts.
I don't know how you can do it.
Well, it'd be 3.
Without a variance. You
Yeah.
can't split nothing.
You can't.
Yeah, right.
The bottom line is, she could sell it as it is, and
Yeah.
a farmer could go out there and pay hell and,
Yeah.
hell and whatever,
Right.
15 acres.
Yeah.
Horses, cows, whatever.
Yeah.
But no one's gonna buy 15 acres and can't put something on it. If that's what she's looking at, that's where we're at. I mean, we're-
Yeah, I totally agree.
So do we
Yeah.
grant a variance for 160 feet frontage? Is really where we're at.
So my next question is, have we granted a variance for less than 150 foot in the past?
Yes.
That's what I thought we had, yeah.
Well, yeah, but it could have been a different situation that didn't
Yeah,
own both
each variance
properties.
is a different situation.
Yeah, didn't own both properties. The thing is, she owns both properties. And they could be sold as one.
Right, you could. I mean, one of the people in the house, I mean, there are two houses there in 5, and one of them could buy it all, which they're not interested, or the other one could buy it all, and they're not interested. Is that
Yeah, I already have granted, I already have, my friend wants the 5 acres. She has no use for the 15 acres. So, it's a hardship for me because I don't want to sell the entire piece to one person. It's they can do whatever they want with it, I don't care, but there's something on that property that I want left alone on the 5 acres, and my friend wants the property and has been there, so,
Thank you.
thank you.
I'll entertain a motion. And remember, we're the deciding factor here. It doesn't go any farther. Our decision is the end.
Staff does not provide recommendations on variances. You have our analysis.
It's
A new owner could request a variance, correct? If someone
Yeah.
buys it, I mean,
Yeah.
to build on it at that point?
Yeah, if that's what they want to do. Somebody wants to buy it.
I mean, I think if by granting the variance, it's a buildable track of 15 acres, which,
We're not saying it's a buildable tract.
where does it say it's a buildable tract?
You said that.
Yeah, it's a buildable, if we grant a variance, it's a buildable tract of 15 acres.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's,
They could run cattle on it and not build on it.
well, they could,
Yeah.
but there's not too many guys that want to transport cattle to 15 acres. That's about 4 cows.
The guy right next door.
Yeah.
It's also kind of landlocked. So it's not.
Well, it's not going to be easy to sell either way. It's ways it's described with the gas line that goes through it and that. So,
And then you have that back part of the property that looks like it, as it's been described, as
Yeah.
a watershed area.
yeah. So, I mean, it's
They're good for cattle.
just because we approved a variance doesn't mean they can sell it
No.
any way either.
It doesn't mean that they can sell it, but it also doesn't mean that they can't sell it,
That's true.
right?
That's correct.
If
Yeah.
we approve the variance, we're supporting the future land use of potential folks moving in
Mm-hmm.
and the growth of Leavenworth County, which is
Right.
in accordance to what the county commissioner,
Mm-hmm.
we're all about what the future land is. If we don't, then we got a tract of land there that, that's it.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that either. Nothing wrong with that either.
Well, but again, a new owner could apply for a variance down the road
Yep.
if they wanted to do something with it.
Yeah, but that,
But my point is no one's going to buy a 15-acre tract that they can't put something on out in the middle of a cloud, in the middle of country and pretty farmland and stuff.
Right.
that's a
They're gonna
hard
at least
sell.
put a- They're going to want to at least put a pole barn living quarters down.
Mm-hmm. And of course, I mean, if we approve it, it doesn't stop the neighbors from buying it. If that's probably their best bet is to have the neighbors buy it, but nothing stops them from doing that either. So if it's approved or not approved,
I don't know what it's worth based on what she said, Mr. Ricky offered. But on my math, that's over $5,000 an acre. That's a lot of money.
Well, on a high note, Marcus,
Basically 7.5 acres.
there's 14 acres right next to me for 220,000 that's landlocked. There's 14 acres right next to me for 220,000 acres that's landlocked. So you got to buy the 35 and the 14 if you want it all, if you want to build on it. So, I mean,
But my point was, it's a 15 acres from everything we've heard and read, 7.5 or 8 is usable. 7.5 or 8 is not usable.
right.
So you're really selling 7 or 8 acres. But that's almost $10,000 an acre. When you think about what's appealing to someone versus what's playing in hay. But anyway.
Well, but
It's irrelevant. The point is the variance makes it appealing for someone to be able to buy and build a house and raise kids and chickens and whatever else out there. It's a nice area out there. It's real quiet.
it looks like there's an area on behind the other house where the house could be built, but you'd be building behind another property.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll entertain a motion.
This is a tough one. I mean,
Let's do it on that.
Well, not knowing if anybody's going to buy it to build on it, I'll make a motion to approve the variance request. DV 23-022.
Okay.
It just, I mean, I can't see the difference between approving or not approving it. You approve it,
It's a piece of property somebody can buy, and that person has got to get a building permit, and he'll have to go through the struggles to get that. And this gives him the opportunity to sell it to a buyer who wants to go through the other rules.
Okay, well, we'll at least get it to a vote, anyway.
And I think that it makes it a little more appealing, but I think maybe because the neighbors are here, I'm not sure what she's looking for out of it, but I think there could be some negotiations or something that they can meet with them to get between the two of them or the three of them. The three of them get by and split it and then know anyway on it.
Yep.
That's what I do.
Yeah. Do I have a second?
I'll second. Second.
Jeff did.
Third.
Jeff.
You're a third.
Sorry, Robert, I can't hear.
That's all right. Jeff seconded.
Jeff seconded.
I'm just like you.
We have a motion on the floor with a second to approve case number DV21-02, the variance for the road frontage. Is there any further discussion? And remember, our vote is
final.
It's final, so. Marcus Major.
Yes.
William Gutchalk.
Yes.
Jeff Spink.
Yes.
Robert Owens.
Yes.
Steve Skeet.
Yes.
Wolf Smith.
Yes.
Motion carries 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 0. Approved 6 to 0, ma'am. Okay. Anything else?
That is it. Just a reminder that you guys have a work session for some training on March 15th at 5:30 in this room. If you cannot attend, please let staff know in advance. Otherwise,
Okay. All right, we're adjourned.